out here.
Hi, my name is Carlos. I travel, I tattoo, and I take it all in. One country at a time, one tattoo at a time. Travel is what inspires me. Tattooing is what guides me. This is how I interpret the world. This is the global canvas.
What's up, everybody? Boom, 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 boom. Good to see ya. Welcome back. You can't tell because you are on the other side of that camera, but I reconfigured my setup again. So we got a more functioning work environment. Today, I would like to finally get in and start tattooing this arm. It's been quite some time that we've been working on this, and we haven't given her any real tattoos. I have zero plan right now on what to put on there. So you guys are coming along for the ride creatively as well as artistically. Cleaned up a little area of my dirty palette here. This is all just madness still, but I cleaned this up so we have a place to pour out some tattoo pigment. I know she's gonna have a black and gray tattoo sleeve, and we'll probably have some kind of tattoos over here too. I just haven't decided that part yet. But I don't need this right now. I'll pop this out. Let's have some fun. First thing I'm gonna do though is zoom in a little bit better on her sleeve. Let's see if that works. And let me reposition this stuff. Give me a second to do that. How you guys doing? Did you have a good weekend? Here we are at Monday. Monday. Alright, killer. Alright, that should work for that. So what I'm gonna need to do is get some piles of paint mixed up here to dial in our colors that we're going to use. I know it's going to be a black and gray sleeve, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it has to be just straight black and gray pigment. It could have tone to it. It could be warm, it could be cool. Let's figure this out though. So we're going to come down here first and we're going to figure this all out. So let's start with a neutral gray tone. Titanium white and ivory black, lamp black. Which black do I have? Titanium white and ivory black. If you're curious about what the difference is between a lamp black and an ivory black, or titanium white and cremence white, or any of the other variants of white out there, the answer eludes me too. So I can't tell you right now. I know titanium has the literal, literally has titanium in it, but that's the best I can give you. But it gives us a nice mid-tone gray. Looks a little bluer on my stream, but it's just my camera in the studio. Let's see if maybe here. See, it's a mid-tone gray. See, look how gray that looks there. And look how much lighter and bluer it looks there. Interesting. So there's this $900 camera I want to get to really hyper focus and capture everything perfect. But we're gonna wait until we can make some money before we spend more money. That's one of my greatest character traits, is spending the money, not necessarily making it. Okay, so I got this pile of mid-tone gray. I pulled out some warm white over here, and I'm just gonna mix up another pile to the side that's a little warmer. In comparison now between these two, this already looks a little cooler and this looks a little warmer, but it still feels pretty mid-tone. So I can warm this up in a couple of different ways. We could find the middle between violet and like a cad yellow. That'll neutralize down to make a gray. Let's try that. Do I have cad yellow? Oh no, I don't. I have the light yellow ochre. Let's try that. And I have Naples yellow hue. Let's try this. We'll see as a team what we like. Alright, so you watch me mix these mid-tone grays just using black and white. Now check out this fun little magic trick here. I accidentally picked up some of that alizarin crimson. That's okay. So we're just going to use yellow, violet. That tiny bit of alizarin crimson is going to disappear. But because violet and yellow are complementary colors, they will neutralize each other. I'm just going to keep smashing and stirring, scooping. Scoop, smash, stir. Scoop, smash, stir. Still a little bit too purple for my taste, so does it show up purple here? Yeah, these colors are so funky. But yeah, I'll get the rest of this yellow that I have here. Neutralize it as best as possible. Many years ago, when I used to oil paint quasi-professionally, emphasis on the quasi. That's a stupid sentence. That should be a t-shirt. I would spend days just mixing the colors for my painting. Keep them wet with a little bit of linseed oil or Damar varnish and in a airtight box. But I would just mix and mix and mix and mix and mix and then get the perfect palette laid out here. And then paint from there. That's okay. Okay, so this is all right now. Sorry it's so noisy here. Just using a second knife to scrape the rest off of here. I need to make a dark version of this, warm mid-tone. So I'm gonna just drop a little bit of black in there, acrid black of course. And go a little bit darker to get a deeper tone. The reason I mentioned that I used to do this for like days is just to let you know that this is not an odd part of painting to have to take this long just to mix up a couple colors. You could do it with your brushes if you want, which I'm all about doing as well. But believe me, front loading this is going to save some time in the back end. By having the opportunity to mix these up now and just quick dip between them will be faster than dip, mix, dip, mix, dip, mix with the brush. Alright, okay, let's put these out of camera view. And where shall we start? Let's see. Oh yeah, so we got to figure out what kind of sleeve to give her. I want it to be pretty saturated, but it's not a blackout sleeve, so we're gonna have to see some flesh tone peeking through. Flowers is always a good way to go. Let's think about this ballerina. If she's an artist in the performative arts, it's not like her tattoos need to be like the drama masks or anything like that. She's living in New York. She's probably got some hip stuff. Let's do black and gray. Flowers and a snake. Let's do a sleeve of a snake with flowers. Sound good? Sounds good to me. I gotta mix up a little pile of flesh tone really quick. So for that I'm gonna use this off-white, some alizarin crimson, and a little raw umber. That was a lot of raw umber. Let's see what it makes. What it makes is a nice shadow Caucasian fleshy shadow color. It's pretty nice, huh? Wow. There's no light on that. And I'll add a little bit of titanium white to a section of it. So I have a little bit brighter of a flesh tone here. And a little orange because this is too neutralized. So now this is warming up, you can see that. Rumbling today. I don't know if my mic's picking that up, but whew. I did this thing that people half my age typically do, which is drink alcohol. I did that last night, and oh my god, I woke up sweating bullets in the middle of the night. I'm too old for this, he says. Alright, so we got some tones for our black and gray tattoos. We got a couple flesh tones to mix in as we go through there. So let's see, where should we start? I'll get a nice little liner brush. I will need something to blend. And I will need a nice round for placing pigment. Let's try these guys. This will be my dream team today. This little guy, this longer liner, this bigger round that we'll use for blending. And I'm going to try my best to focus on using this for my tattoo, this for my flesh that peeks through. But as these things typically go, I'm going to overmix, undermix, mess up brushes, yada. Let's see, let us begin, shall we? I'm gonna jump in with this warm mid-gray. And she's got a sleeve that's snake and flowers. Let me do something novel here. Let me see if I could just flip her around. Is this gonna work? Yeah, that's what we do. There we go. Now I can look at it more straight on, like I'm actually tattooing her. So if she's got a snake and flowers tattoo, I would say that the serpent's head would probably be up at the top, and then winding body as it comes down. And it would likely have like focus on a face on the side of the deltoid. And if I did this tattoo, which I guess I am because it's in my universe, I'm gonna put these really wicked bends in here. So like what we're looking at here, I know it's kind of hard to focus, but this is the head of the serpent here. Neck goes back this way. And it's going to go all through the tattoo sleeve. Now I've painted plenty of tattoos on paintings because I did a lot of self-portraits growing up, and I'm a tattoo person. So I know a couple advanced tricks that I'll show you guys when it comes to painting tattoos. But again, I'm just blocking in. Blocking in our major shapes here, and then we'll add some flowers in a bit. So I got the snake, here's our head, coming up around this way, coming over here, winding back down here. It's gonna wrap underneath her arm and then come back, and the tail is gonna drop out right here. So it's got a nice wrapping around the body effect going on. Now, I don't want it to be too slender of a snake, but it is a graphic image, so I'm going to have its highlights, its shadows, and it would get complicated if we didn't go about this the right way, because in the universe of this dancer, there's going to be different lights, different highlights, different shadows, but in the universe in which she lives, where she got tattooed, that tattoo is going to have its own highlights and shadows. So I'm going to design this whole sleeve as though it's on paper and then it's not on this ballerina in this alley outside at nighttime. We'll get it all tattooed, painted in the tattoos like that, and then I will do the translucent flesh effects over it with the highlights and the shadows from this universe. First and foremost, we need a tattooer. Alright. So, let's start by making the snake look a little bit more three-dimensional, shall we? We shall. A lot of times when I tattoo, if there isn't a reason otherwise, I will start with a top-down on a slight angle lighting direction. So again, ignoring the lighting within the cityscape here, my direction of light for this particular, drop my paintbrush here, for this particular snake is coming from this angle. This is my light shining here, which would mean that the shadow on the head, for instance, would come down this way. I'm going to mix this up a little bit more dramatically dark so as to give it contrast and readability. Nice. And I do look forward to, and hopefully I can get it all done today, I do look forward to getting like some good detail in here, like some scales and whatnot. But first we're gonna get the snake blocked in. Then we will get the flowers blocked in. And then we'll play around with details. Remembering, of course, that, and now this is where it gets a little tricky again, in the context of this photo, of this universe where this dancer is, some of the details are going to get lost as it wraps around the edges, and some of it will be more visible where the light's hitting. You lose detail as you move into shadow, so if I did a bunch of scales over here, it wouldn't make too much sense because that's going to be a shadow side anyway. So I'm going to see if I can't get this to focus any better. A little bit better focus for you guys. Look at this, I'm finding myself on my day off, still making tattoos. How do you like that? Got a little bit of thing we're going through in my life right now. My kids are very, very loud. Loud kids. 3 years old, 8 years old, special needs. And we live in an apartment currently while we're here in Michigan. And they will not stop slamming doors and screaming and just going nuts constantly. We've already received noise complaint. And while that would normally be like yeah, sorry, got kids, I don't know what to tell you, we are in like a more affluent community right now, and I know that they're gonna band together to get us booted. So I am getting ahead of that and have been looking today at places to move to, houses. That way we don't have shared walls with other people. And I got a couple of leads, so that's good. Moving is so expensive, and we just did it, so I'm so not looking forward to having to move again. See, I'm putting a little bit of texture in this snake body right now. Not too much, just trying to be able to see the illusion a little bit better. I wanted to do this today because I got a question on another video, which I forgot to respond to, and I'm so sorry about that. But I got a question on another video of if we were going to, or if we had already worked on the tattoos more. So I was like, all right, today's tattoo day. Here we are. All right, so we can call that a general block-in for a snake. Pull this the edge here, because I don't like how they just kind of stopped right there. All right, so we're getting somewhere at least. Next, we need to come up with a nice floral pattern. I would like to see a couple large blossomed flowers and then lots of leaves to connect everything, or to fill everything, that is. Weaving in and out of this image. So again, we're going to go back to blocking in first. And I got room here. Obviously there's room up here and there's room down here. But I'm not going to dead center it in these two spots, like place a flower in the middle of each of those locations, because that only makes sense looking at this painting. In real life, the flowers would be over here, or maybe on the tricep coming over this way. So I'll have the center of the blossom over here somewhere. You can tell it already looks more like a rose than any other flower, and that's fine. Not a problem there. So, where should we go next? If that's the center of one flower, let's put the center of another one over here. Nice. And then we need smaller flowers here and there. And this is all black and gray. But I'm gonna put some warmer gray tones in the shadow area, because as features turn towards their shadow side, they tend to get warmer. So do a couple of warmer tones over here, and then the cooler tones, or the more neutralized tones, that is, where the light hits, where the light's going to be hitting the arm. I'm also gonna have to get, all right, so now I know where those floral pieces are gonna go, and then I'm gonna have a couple of other pretty stark ones, just filling up some gaps here, and I want some things moving in and out. So I will bring one sprig of a flower up through here, but I want to get the shadow sides of those in first. So let me get the shadow side in this flower first, and then we'll start adding some other steps. Shadow detail. A little bit of shadow detail here. Oops, that was straight up the opposite of shadow. That was like a highlight color. I don't know what happened there. Just caught a weird edge of my brush that was loaded with a highlight already. There we go, better. Better. Yes, I guess after all, it's gonna turn out to be roses and a snake. I like it. I like it. Fun. All right. So now I'm gonna break the foreground and background with the snake a little bit and start mingling some pieces in and out. So I know for sure I want to have one, like a stem with some errant leaves sticking off. I'm breaking this plane right here. So it's gonna originate from behind this part of the body of the snake and then overlap here. And I know I'm gonna have a similar thing happening in here. So I'm just go ahead and put the shadow side now of those stems over there. Cool. And a little bit of shadow there. This is fun. I'm enjoying this. Got some more exciting parts of this coming up still though. We ain't done yet. Let's see. Okay, I gotta put the highlights on these new errant twigs and leaves and everything that I put in there, and then I'm move on to the next exciting part of this. I really don't know if my mic is picking up my growling stomach, but holy smokes, it is going crazy. I hope not. I don't want to gross anybody out. I could always pretend it was intentional. I could just do all my narration today in death metal vocals. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and make a couple of highlights here. I don't think anybody would want to listen to that. Cool. We got something of a sleeve coming. Alright, so next I'm going to a little bit of texture in our snake. Let's see if I can get some scales. Some little scaly effects in here. I hope I can. Hope it doesn't mess anything up. Let's find out. Let's find out as a team. Yeah, something like that, a little bit. I mean, this is so tiny. I wish I could I don't know if I have a change, if I could lay like a dime down there or something. It sounds like I've got some change here. Dime for scale. So, yeah, there might be a follow-up session on these tattoos to like really get the realism in there. We shall see. I'm just lightly touching, pushing a little bit of darker pigment between the pigment that's already there. Try to create the effect of some texture. I really think it'd be fun to go in with a magnifying glass, a macro lens camera, and really try to hyper detail this. We're getting closer, we're not done, but we're getting closer to the end of this painting. And part of this process the whole time is making sure that this is difficult for me to do, trying to make things hard for myself. So going in and putting in some realistic tattoos at this micro scale, I think that could be pretty fun. Having said that, when you zoom out and like you move back, even if this is hyper detailed, when you move back, your eyes aren't going to really pick that up. It's going to take the approximations of what we're looking at and fill in the gaps in our brain. So I don't necessarily know if even doing that is necessary, adding all those insane tiny details. Might be fun, but it might be a waste of our time. Who's to say? Okay. So now I want to blur out a little bit of this right here, just because it's kind of too stark for me, for my taste. It's better. Definitely blur out this leaf here a little bit more. Nice. That's really cool. Alright, so we're getting somewhere, building it up. But there's something that we got to do now. Now we have to show where the flesh tone peeks through, because it's not a solid black sleeve. It's fully saturated, but it's not solid black. So now we will go in and fill some gaps in with our flesh tone. And this I will now be thinking of our ballerina in the universe of this ballerina, not in the context of the tattoo. We already thought about the light and shadow for there. Now this is going to be the light and shadow on the rest of the arm. So what I'm going to do is come in between tattoo bits. Reintroduce our skin tones. And like I said, there's still some other later effects I can do on this to really make them look tattooed. But I'll talk about that when we start doing that. Yeah, buddy. This is exciting. That's for sure. Alright, so we're getting the highlight edge of that arm figured out. Do a couple more spots right here, and then we got to figure out the shadow side, which is going to be down here. So that means I'm going to come through this tone that we mixed up, this deeper shadow tone. I will use this as my mid, and then I will totally come in with an even darker tone after this one. Yes?
I need to interrupt you.
Alright, one moment. I'm going to go on pause here, guys. I will be right back. I need to be interrupted. And I will see you in just a minute. And we're back. Crisis averted. Just checking the meats before we cook the stews. The reason I have to go to intermission whenever somebody pops in or needs my help from the other room is my green screen that's behind me. It actually goes over the door that we used to get in and out of this area, so I have to roll it up, see all the way into the apartment. So, to spare you from seeing our mess, put you onto a commercial break. I should, honestly, for those little intermissions, I should load up commercials for things, fake commercials that we make just for the stream. I think that would be awesome. All right, I'm gonna do a little bit of French Ultramarine Blue, Raw Umber, Alizarin Crimson. We're gonna mix that together. It's gonna make a real rich, deep burgundy flesh tone, and it looks gorgeous. I mean, this is like a wonderful like wine color right now. I don't know if you can see that. Gorgeous, but a little too warm, a little too purpley, and it's red, and I need to neutralize that a little bit. So what should I add to neutralize it? Black? Nay. We're gonna add a little bit of green, because green and red are on the opposite side of the color spectrum. So therefore, when you mix them, they cancel each other out and make a more like gray tone, but like a average of the two colors coming this way across the color spectrum. Thing you gotta be careful with though is phthalo green is a very staining color. It will really show if you don't mix it thoroughly and you get just like one line of phthalo green like on its own. If you wipe that on your panel, then it's gonna be like, whoop, that's a bright green. So anyway, all right, now we have a nice neutralized tone there. A little bit of warming up with just a little bit more crimson, alizarin crimson. Now I can mix between this tone here and this tone here to get a really nice warm shadow for this color. There, and we'll go there. We'll mix a little pile right here. It's all about finding these halfway steps in between, right? Half between there equals here. That is so lovely. See how without even seeing the details in there, we can tell that it's floral with something else going on, almost like a wallpaper type pattern. It's pretty rad. I like that. It's a cool sleeve. So what we're gonna have to do, unfortunately for this section of our painting today, we're gonna have to let that dry before we do the overtones. The over glazes. So what we'll do after this is completely dry, I'll give it a couple of days and we'll come back to it, is we'll go over these tattoos. So now pretend like there's no skin on the body and it's just the pigment of the tattoo. We'll then glaze over that with flesh tone to push those tattoos backwards into space. And then we can have our highlight edge with our colors that are localized from these. We can have our shadows and make it more convincing, more realistic. And look like tattoos under skin. Right now it looks like she's wearing one of those sleeves that you pull over, like the Under Armour material with fake tattoos on it. Yeah, everybody loves those. I need to transition a little bit nicer from the wrist to the hand here. I'm gonna also zoom back out and put her back in our more natural state here. There's booty in a ponytail for right now. Zoom her back out. Cool. Alright, so let's pull that back in this way. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. So we can see some shapes and some tattoos going on. 100% can't 100% tell what it is, but if I want to do that hyper detail I was talking about, we'll do that 2 layers for now. The next layer will be glazing and shading, the highlight and the low lights on this sleeve, and then we can go through with a single hair brush and tighten that all up and make it look as realistic as possible. But first I gotta fix this little transition here. So in order to do that, I'm going to grab a tone that's closer to that shadow that's right there, which is essentially this tone that we mixed up here, but a little bit more alizarin crimson. It's a little bit lighter, so we go this tiniest bit of raw umber, just to knock that back a little bit. And oh, still a little bright. All right, so raw umber it is. I know we mixed up these shadows, but I want a shadow that's as close to what we have there already, so I don't have to repaint the entire back of the hand right now. Man, that's still a bright highlight almost. It's wild how when you look at it on your paintbrush, how different it is than it is on the panel. That's all right, we got time, we can go anywhere. Still looks like it needs to be neutralized out a little bit, huh? World's tiniest amount, the tiniest touch of phthalo green, and it just destroys all of this paint. Crazy, dude. Alright, that ties it together a little better. Not perfect, but that's okay. I'm not always looking for perfect. I see like some weird splotchiness that's going on with his forehead. I haven't finished that section yet. Honestly, of all the flesh tones, this is probably the most like close to finish that we have. There's like that little bit of splotchiness out like there, and I don't know if I really have the palette set up right now to fix that. This is a fool's errand. I shouldn't be doing this. Just addicted to the danger. Let's see what we can do with this. And with this warm white here, and just using what's left of this pigment that was on my brush to make something that's close to white, that isn't white, but it's close. It's kind of warm. Just so I could fill in this little gap here. And I mixed a little bit of that flesh tone in. I'm going to push up back into the white here. Make sure it's tinted. And you know what? We're here. Let's go ahead and work on this face, I guess. Hadn't planned on it, but now that we got these colors out, hit a couple more highlights in this face. Nice. Nice. See, that accident just brought me to Fix that highlight edge on the forehead that was bugging me anyway. So, how do you like that? Maybe I should do the same with her hand now. Now that I can see those highlights versus these highlights, this is so much more orange up here. I know we did that a couple streams ago though on purpose because we wanted to warm up the colors that we had. Cool. Sweet. All right. Anything else? I don't know. That might be it for today. We definitely got to let all of this dry before we push it underneath the skin. I think the one last thing I'm going to do is right now I see almost like a continuous black line right here. If you put black lines around the edge of anything in a realism piece, it's going to immediately turn into a flat cartoon by putting that edge around there. So even if there's the slightest effect that you see like in nature or on the photograph where it does get really dark right at that edge, you want to be careful to not make it outlined. So let's just take these tones that we're playing with already for the highlights on the face down here, and let's see if we can't just run them through here. It's something that's going to happen on that final layer anyway, or not the final layer, but the glaze layer anyway, but just so that we can wrap this stream up and feel a little bit better. Just gonna erase that black line that's on the edge there, make it a white line that's on the edge there. Okay, cool. I feel better about that. All right, thanks for following. I will see you guys next time. If you are just catching this stream in the random, thanks for stopping by. If you liked it, I'd appreciate it if you gave it a thumbs up or a like. If you really enjoyed it, I would appreciate it if you gave us a subscribe. Yeah, I'll be back in. There's plenty of other places on this painting to work on. I might do another stream today, maybe tomorrow, but either way, thanks for looking.